Hello there. Welcome to my channel, Snips by Kelly. I'm Kelly and I have a 2-page scrapbook layout for you that is going to focus on adding little details to elevate simple pages. So we have some tiny bee trinkets here, and our base ingredient is going to be the Cute as Can Be Designer Series paper and sticker sheet. But when I got to looking at the sticker sheet, we have 3 larger titles, 3 smaller sentiments, 2 large hexagons, and about 5 bees, maybe 6 bees. I think it's 5 or 6, and then some strips. So that is all the bits that I would have using the Designer Series paper pack and sticker sheet to be able to make clusters and elevate my pages. So a lot of times when I don't have a lot of bits, I'll take a look at the sticker sheet, or if there's ephemera that comes in a pack, I'll find a shape that I can duplicate. I'll use an existing shape from the sticker sheet and I'll create a pattern out of that so that I can actually use that to create more patterns or more bits and pieces. So I looked high and low to try to find something to add to the workshop that wouldn't break the bank, that was a real low price point, but that might have a lot of little extra added bits. And I was thinking memories and more cards, but I just couldn't find the right fit. So I found the Something for Everything Mix and Match Ephemera pack. And I was pleasantly surprised when I actually started digging into it at how many things actually had the right colors in them. You had to sift through and sort of separate out your colors, but I found tons of colors that were in the Designer Series paper that were also in the Mix and Match ephemera, and I figured I could use the remaining ephemera on so many things. I could use it on other pages or other cards, so I literally just pulled out the colors in the ephemera pack that matched this set. So I'm not exactly sure how it's going to come together, but I feel a little bit better about having some bits to be able to use. Now, when we look at the Designer Series paper, we have some very, very, very busy bee paper, lots of busy bee paper. But on the back side, we have a scrapbooker's dream. So we have some stripes, some swirl, some crisscross, some small floral, a lot of really great, more, smaller patterns on the back. And then I'm also adding the cardstock that coordinates with the Designer Series paper, which is the Cute as Can Be coordinating cardstock. So now you can see in my Junk Gypsy tray, it's looking a lot better. On the front, I have all of that ephemera sorted according to basic color. And then I have those larger stickers in the back. Now I store my extra ephemera in Stamp Market storage envelopes. They're nice and sturdy. You can put a label on them and it stores them without bits and pieces sticking out all over. So now I'm going to use the back side of one of the sticker hexagons, and I'm just going to cut a basic white pattern out of that sticker. And then I will be using the sticker on my pages, but I just want to cut a shape out of that because this is going to be a simple scrapbook page and I'm not going to add Cricut cuts, die cuts, stamping, or lots of over-the-top techniques. I'm going to keep it simple and do very simple things to the pages that anyone could do and that you can do with simple things that you already have in your stash. And so because of that, I need to make more bits. So I've sorted out 3 different pattern papers, and I'm actually going to fussy cut 3 or 4 hexagons out of each of those patterns, and then we'll have some great hexagons. Now, for a more elevated workshop, if you are going to be wanting to do stamping and dies, there's a great hexagon set called Meant to Be that goes with the workshop kit or with this Designer Series paper if you decide to do die cutting and stamping. So I'm only showing techniques for those who don't have a die cutter or who don't have access to some of that equipment. So I'm actually going to pull out, I have 2 white Willow bases, but I kind of want to do something besides a standard, frame or just a standard background. And I thought maybe I could do a little bit of a wonky background. So if I do 12 by 12 for the background paper, which is Petunia Pop. And then I'm going to take a Willow White and kind of make a wonky background. So I'm going to toggle that 2 inches down on the upper left and 2 inches in on the lower left to just make an interesting background. It's one of those small details that you can do without needing added equipment or any added technique. You can just basically overlay your cardstock to make an interesting background. So I'm going to repeat that on the right. Now let's take a look at the photos that I'm wanting to use. I'm going to use some summer splish splash pool party photos of a birthday party for my granddaughter Ramsey Kate, who is turning 6. Now I've sorted out the photos according to decorations and according to people. And so I really want people to be the focus, and yet I want really badly to document the party itself and the decorations. My daughter is an absolute whiz about with theme parties. She's been doing theme parties for her 3 girls. Well, the oldest one is 11, and so she's been doing theme parties for 11 years for each of the girls. And so there's been so many theme parties with 3 girls over the course of, they're like 11, 9, and 6. And so I'm always interested to see what's the theme going to be. And she just goes all out and makes it so special for them with, different shaped foods and different themed containers and all the different decorations. And so I have always been one who loves to decorate and do things, but she just takes it to a whole new level. So what I did is I sorted it into 3 piles of 3 photos on the right. And then I have one single photo on the left. And I envision using signature flip flaps so that I can have 3 photos showing on the top, but you'll be able to flip that open for 2 additional photos in each pile. And then I can have hidden journaling under the left photo. So then I'm going to be able to keep a really clean, simple look, because this is a simple scrapbook layout without cluttering the whole, 2 pages up with so many photos. I'm still going to be able to have a decorative element. Now I'm going to pull out some bubble bath that comes out of the meant to be coordinating cardstock. And I think I called it cute as can be coordinating cardstock earlier, so I apologize for that. And I'm going to use the bubble bath because we get 4 sheets of the bubble bath in the coordinating cardstock. So since we get more sheets than some of the other colors, I'm going to create a 4.5 by 4.5 base photo mat and a 4.25 by 4.25 base white photo mat, and then 4 by 4 photo. And then I actually did the bubble bath in 4 by 4 as well. And I'm going to do that 2 times so that I can actually have a journaling underneath. And so for a signature flip flap, you literally put your photos in the flip flap pocket or your journaling on the back side. There is a sticky tab that you pull off, and then I like to line up the photos, and when the photos, the top and the bottom are perfectly lined up so that the photo mat still shows all the way around the edge, I just fold under that adhesive back. So let's do it again. You're going to put your photos in the pocket. One of them is going to be upside down so that when you flip the pocket up, it's facing the right direction, and then literally line up your photo. So I'm going to line up the photo so that the top photo lines up with the bottom photo and photo mat, and fold that top adhesive piece under. Now you can put these flip flaps directly onto a page protector so they're on the outside of your album, or you can make them interactive on the inside of your album and you can cut slits into your page protector. So you're going to put something hard or like a self-healing mat or a cutting board inside the expandable page protector. You'll have marked on your page protector in pen mark or some kind of a mark where you need to make the slits. So you'll have your photos in place, your flip-flops in place, make the slits on the page protector, and then cut with an X-Acto knife or some kind of a sharp knife, and then you can feed those flip-flops through. So you can just place them on the top, or you can put them inside the layout like I am and make the slits and make them come through. So now I love this because now we've turned 4 photos into 10 photos. So now we're going to concentrate on some of those little details that elevate. So I'm going to use a black lip pen and add journal lines outside of the outer edges of the white, the Willow white. Very easy way to elevate without having to use equipment or stamping or dies or anything like that. Here are all those hexagons that I created out of the sticker. So that really gave me a lot more bits to use. I think I'll take that black lip pen and I'll go around those as well, but I want to wait and see which ones I need to use first. So I'm going to get placement like on the left, and it's probably going to be easier for me to place my photo and then work with the hexagons and place them around, because there's no need to fill the whole background with those hexagons and then find out that half of those are covered. Now, something that I kind of giggle about, and it's just my older brain and my 3-second memory, but sometimes I'll get dry placement and then I'll lift the pieces up to put adhesive on, or I'll lift the pieces up to do like the journal pen on them, and then I can't remember the placement. And so sometimes what I'll do is I'll actually snap a little photo of my dry placement so that if I can't quite remember the arrangement that I liked, that I have that. But I actually forgot to do that. So I arrange the hexagons, I get them just so, I'm loving them, and then they get toggled around because I'm pulling them up to do things with them. And so my final arrangement ends up being different, but you know what? I like it just as well. So with hexagons, it's so easy. I have seen hexagons in so many different patterns, like in all the corners, across the center vertically, across the center horizontally, coming across the page diagonally, a few clusters of them in one part of the page and a few clusters of them in another part of the page. And honestly, they all look really, really cute. So I don't think there is any right or wrong when it comes to placing shapes in the background, just making it pleasing to the eye. And so now that I got dry placement of those hexagons, I'm going to go around each of them with the journal pen, and you can do it freehand. I just have a pretty wobbly hand, so I'm going to use my straight edge, but I'm not going to make you watch me do all of those. I'm just going to do one, and then off camera I will do all of the others. And that's a lot of little lines to add, but it just takes a few minutes and it really does elevate things. So we're trying to find, the whole purpose of the video is to find small details and small things that you can do without added equipment like Cricut or, dies or stamping. Now, the Meant to Be collection has a stamp and die called Meant to Be that has great hexagons of all sizes in it, and I do have that. And so you're probably thinking to yourself, why is she making us fussy cut hexagons out of a sticker from a designer series paper pack and sticker sheet when she has great hexagons that she can layer from the Meant to Be stamp and dies? Because the whole purpose of this is for those people who want to do simple and don't want to own a die cutting machine and don't want to do Cricut cuts. And so the whole point is reminding us that we can do things freehand, and we can do things with existing parts and pieces, and we can add small details that totally elevate our pages, even though the base page is still very, very simple. So now I'm going to pull that. There were only 2 hexagon stickers, if you recall, in the sticker sheet. So I'm going to pull those 2. And then I'm also going to, shop these titles. So we basically have 3 colors of titles to choose from. And I'm kind of thinking about the pool party title. And I was thinking about maybe making a play on Be Happy, where on the front of the flip flap, we actually use a B with the word happy. And then on the inside of the flip flap, it can be the word Be happy. So we'll see if I can make that work out by typing some journaling. I'll make a text box. So if I know that I have a 4x4 square, I can make a text box in my Word document that's maybe 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. I can type my words in that text box, and then I know that if I want to put a sticker inside that I'll maybe make a little indent, or I will, space and return to leave a little space for the sticker. So I'll show you how that turns out here in just a minute. So I've trimmed that green hexagon off, and then I've pressed the pages together so that I could find placement for that very first partial hexagon piece, which gives me something to build on. Now on the right page, there's 3 photo bundles. So I have 3 bundles of 3 photos in each bundle using the signature flip flaps. And so what I'm going to do is arrange the photos first and then arrange the hexagons around, because there's no reason for me to waste pattern paper and have hexagons that aren't going to show or that I'm not going to need. I've actually even created a hexagon out of a partial piece of the green pattern paper because I know I can get that hexagon to work, even though it has like a funky end to it, but I didn't want to cut a whole nother strip of pattern paper and waste a whole other strip of pattern paper if I could just get by using that jagged piece or that wonky piece and kind of be a little scavenger here. So I think if I just keep working with that a minute, I will find a way to make that work. And I'm happy with the simplicity of the background, but I'm also happy that we were able to take existing bits in the sticker hexagon and make a really pretty background. So we don't just have to have squares and strips. There are some times where you can cut, like there might be a tag sticker, or there might be a circle sticker, a hexagon sticker, or a different shaped rectangle, like a country corners die, like a different shapes that can give you interesting backgrounds without having to have a die. And I just kind of sort out different banners and things that are on the sticker sheet that I can pull off the sticker sheet, take the sticky off the back, and use as patterns. It's a great thing to be able to do when you're stumped, especially. So with these newer workshops that we have coming in May, like I said, I'm so excited. I took a look at all 4 workshops that are coming in May, and they have small, medium, and large words, small, medium, and large icons, and at least 5 to 8 title opportunities between the ephemera and the stickers. It's going to be so great. And I love this designer series paper. I love the stickers. I just need more to be able to stretch it to more pages. So now that I have the hexagons in place, I see myself using the Be Happy. So I'm going to use the actual bee on the outside on top of the photo. And then when you flip the photo up, I want the word bee to show. So I'm going to pull out some of those icons that coordinate. So I'm going to pull out some of the icons that are from the Something for Everything Mix and Match. They're called Something for Everything Mix and Match. And I believe you get 2 sheets each of 4 designs. Let me double check that if it's 2 or if it's more than 2. Yep, excuse me, it's 8 total sheets. So it's 2 each of 4 designs. So you get tons and tons of icons. So I can see myself using all the other colored icons on different pages and on cards. But I love that we have these little banners in Pool Party. Those are going to work. I think the little ice cream cart will be perfect. The cupcakes will be perfect since we're celebrating Ramsey Kate's pool party birthday. It's going to work great. So there's butterflies in there, there's cake, there's cupcakes, there's hearts of different colors, there's different colored stars. So I'm just kind of shopping that Something for Everything ephemera. and I'm just making it work for this. I love that I'll be able to go back to this now. So if I come across a different set that has a minimal amount of bits to be able to use in my clusters and in my decorating of my pages, I'll have a little bank to draw from with the rest of the ephemera. So I'm just sort of balancing a little bit. I've got a little bit of pool party in the upper right. I've got some pool party in the middle. I feel like I need a little bit of pool party in the upper left to maybe balance the page, but we'll work on that here in a little bit and see what we can bind. I just kind of wanted to get arrangement and see, what I could add here. I kind of like the cake there. I can toggle that cake between the two hexagons. And then I like the coordinating hearts there. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm liking that. So here you can see I did my journaling. I'm going to add a 1/2 inch by 3 3/4 inch strip to the bottom of that just to decorate the hidden journaling on the inside. And then I'll do that on the top of the other journaling as well, so that I've decorated that a little bit, not much, but you can see how I typed and I hit return and left a little indent there. And I think the Be Happy sticker will fit, hopefully. I'm crossing my fingers. I kind of use the text box tool on my Word to get the text box in about the right size. And so I usually can luck out pretty good and get it right on the first try, but a lot of times I will print it on a piece of scrap paper before I print it on cardstock. And then that way I know that I've got it the right size. So I considered dovetailing this banner, but I think I like it just as a rectangle. So I trimmed about a 1/2 inch off of the left side of the Be Happy sticker so that the happy would fit just right. And then I'm going to slide that into the journaling words there. And then I'll put the actual B on the front. So it'll be cute when you flip that up to read the journaling. It still says Be Happy, but then I can put the other B on the front of the page protector and it'll work out great. So, yep, I love that. And it also brings in that pop of yellow. So we've got a little bit of yellow in one of the bee patterns. We've got a little bit of yellow in one of the cupcakes, just a little bit. So I'm looking at the throwaway stickers. So sometimes on the sticker sheet, the negative space actually makes an extra sticker. So I thought maybe I might be able to use that. I thought maybe I might be able to use the Petunia Pop heart sticker, but that blends in. And so I think I'm going to go with a little bit of this pool party sticker. So maybe about 3.5 inches of the pool party sticker. And then I feel like I've got a lot more color balance. So now I have pool party in the upper left, pool party in the middle, and pool party on the upper right, which gives me color balance of the pool party. And it draws your eye just like a visual triangle across the photo on the left and then up over the photos on the right. I am going to pull in a little bit of the yellow with one of the suns. And I think we had 2 suns in this ephemera pack. And so then I've got a little bit of balance of yellow again. So I've got yellow on the upper left, yellow in the B in the middle, and yellow on the upper right. And I'm getting happier. I'm happy that we have 10 photos. I'm happy that we used a wonky background. We used a journaling pen in several different spots. We toggled some journaling. We're using flip flaps. I'm happy that we were able to add small details to this page without having to add lots of added equipment and other things. So now I'd like to add some of those bee trinkets that coordinate with this set. So I've added the bee trinkets to some little micro glue dots, and then I'm just using my take your pick tool and I'm arranging just a few of those bees around for an added special touch. So I think that we've been successful tonight in keeping it simple, keeping it clean, lots of photo opportunities, and adding tiny small details to elevate the page without pushing it over the top and without having to add Cricut cuts, die cut, stamping, or other techniques. I love that we were able to just use the Cute as Can Be Designer Series paper pack and sticker sheet and the Meant to Be cardstock. It worked great. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's video. I hope that you'll hit like, subscribe, the notifications bell. I hope you'll take a minute to shoot me a comment and just let me know what you thought and how you felt about the flip flaps and the added little elements. And I hope you'll come back soon for more right here on Snips by Kelly. Thank you so much for watching and happy scrapping. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.